wants you to make her a baby, and you don't have to financially support it. She can work it out by herself.
That would make
She's not joking, by the way.
I know. That would make like all the DEI people I know in the United States' heads fucking spin.
Why?
It's like white supremacy is like a fucking like enemy. It's like whiteness is the enemy. It's just so interesting.
This is okay.
Let's talk about it. But
no. This is a complicated conversation, and I'm going to be blunt and brutally honest about it. You're racist. I'm racist. The guy behind you is racist. We're all racist.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing. We as humans, in our extended past, we used to war with one another. And before that, there were other humans similar to us that we used to, you don't walk around the street and see a Homo Neanderthal anymore. Why not? Because our species outcompeted them and annihilated them. So our ability to look at someone that's not like us kind of sideways is our survival trait. Now, it doesn't make sense in modern times to a degree. And it doesn't make sense
because distance is collapsed.
Right. Not only that, it doesn't make sense in a multicultural society, which is what a lot of countries are becoming, or at least what the West is becoming. But see, this is the interesting part, though. Chinese people has over 50 subcultures within them. Were you aware of that?
How much?
50.
Yeah. Okay.
But all you will ever see is Hans, because their state, as a matter of policy, will tell you to your face, we only want our racial group, which dominates this region, to dominate. And if you don't like it, fuck you. They have absolutely no problem saying this. When I was stationed in Korea, I got into a fight. I had a black sergeant right next to me, and we got into a fight with some Chinese guys. Why? Because we were checking out their women. Why the fuck are you checking out our women? See, all these, this is the norm. This is not an anomaly. It's an anomaly in Berlin, in UK, in the US. It's an anomaly. It's like, why are you being racist? Why don't you fuck up black women? Why don't you do this? It's gotten to the point where they say, why are you not attracted to a trans woman? She feels like a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, but everywhere else, right? Everywhere else, the rest of the 85% of planet do not share these views.
That's my experience down here for sure.
You know, my
case in point.
Right. You know, her culture, because she's Venezuelan, she's not Ecuadorian. I know her.
Right.
Her culture was repressed, and perhaps some lack of knowledge. They value whiteness. Right. And so she came up to you and says, why don't you make me a baby? Right. You know, she doesn't even give a fuck if you, but in her mind, she's like, listen, this is how it's got to roll. Because her hypergamous nature tells her, this is what I value, and this is, she's actively seeking a purpose. Right. But see, if these conversations I had with people in London, it'll be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Right. Why are you perpetuating this? No.
Exactly, yeah. It's just like, so interesting.
Every racial group seeks hierarchy. And it doesn't make it necessarily right, but it's in our nature. Like, who dominates Uganda? It's not Ugandans. It's East Indians who migrated to Uganda with capital, and they, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And so, you know, it is what it is.
Exactly.
So it's, I think, a more intelligent approach is to say, well, we're like this, but whenever there's new information that comes up, we can adapt. That's a more honest conversation. But, you know, in the US especially, there's this notion, oh my God, white supremacy. No, the fuck out of my face. You know, it is what it is. A group of Europeans migrated to the U.S., wiped out the native population, and now the greatest, you know, now it doesn't make it right, but it happened.
Right.
That's not your fault.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's sort of like,
you know, but these are just silly notions.
I agree. Okay, getting back to my questions. Speaking of babies, number 3. Have you ever heard, or should I be concerned? It's probably a stupid question. Sperm theft.
Yes.
Should I take my fucking condoms with me?
Yes.
That's a great. I was not expecting you to
I
because like that chick could impregnate herself if she really wanted to. She really fucking wants it. Is that actually like a risk I should take?
it is a risk if she knows you.
Yeah, she has my number and stuff. And knows my ID.
Right. And
She could
but see here there's caveats to this. I had a friend of mine who's a pilot, right? And he met a girl in one of these establishments and ended up starting a relationship with her.
Oh my god.
This particular person was my homie. You know, I rode with him and everything. Made it very clear to her from the beginning. I don't want a baby. I want to fuck you, and that's the end of the goddamn conversation.
That's how it starts.
And that's how it started. However, she saw him as a high-value male,
Right.
and because she saw him as a high-value male, she was getting the what's the name of that? The Depo shot that once every 3 months.
I don't know.
It's a shot that women inject themselves. Mi amor, ¿cómo se llama esa inyección que te pones cada 3 meses para que no te embaraces? No sabe. It's a pharmacy thing, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
basically women inject themselves and they don't get pregnant for 3 months.
Okay.
It's not the pill.
So you think I should like be pretty?
If you're meeting hookers like you're meeting them,
Yeah.
listen, whatever happens, happens, and they understand the situation and they don't give a fuck. But if you're starting a relationship with this woman and she has the fantasy of you taking her to the US so you can, because
I see. Yeah.
then that's a different conversation.
And should I be concerned with like these girls here?
No,
Okay.
they fuck 50 guys a day. They don't know you. And if they get
Right.
pregnant, that's on them.
But no, it's a good point because like I do plan to like
Have a relationship eventually, I suppose.
kind of like a bit of a playboy lifestyle, like
Okay.
maybe 10 girls at once or something from like various cities and stuff. And whenever they're like not professionally doing this as their job, there's definitely like this motive in the back of their mind where they want to like, you know, this might be the guy that
Yeah.
takes me, you know, out of here. I don't know, whatever. Like, okay. So with them, I should be like let's say I have a girl in my place, we're hanging out. She's like one of my side chicks. If I fuck and like come to condom, I should like secure the bag.
Dude, Drake.
Yeah.
Drake does this all the time.
Okay. All right. Next question. Number 4. You said you visited 40, longer than like 40 countries.
Yes.
What? I'm looking for like the next pastures. What are some of the best cities I should go to, in your opinion? So Brazil is next on my list. After
That's a very broad question because it depends what you want to experience. Like some men want to experience exotic races.
yes.
So for example, Eurasia, especially Turkey, the stands, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, that's a mixture of Asian and Caucasians
Yeah.
with some Muslims thrown in. So you get all kinds of wildly different women in those areas.
Yeah. Okay. So
You
you
know.
would say that.
Yeah, those are exotic locations, let's say. That's for exoticism. Now, if you want
What about Latin America? Let's say like.
Latin America is pretty,
Let's
is,
hone it down maybe. What would you say?
But it all depends what you want. If you want pay for play, there's countries for that. If you want a housewife, there's other countries for that.
Maybe just like the cities where there's just like in Guayaquil, there's a lot going on here. There's a
Yes.
lot for me to experience, a lot to try out. Maybe like the most active cities.
This is the most active city.
Yeah, but like others, like any thoughts? Like,
There's only 3 large cities: Quito, Cuenca, and Guayaquil.
let's say you take Ecuador out. It can't be Ecuador.
Well, you got Medellin.
Right. Yeah.
Medellin. I predict that Medellin will become shitty soon, and the reason why is because it literally is becoming the Las Vegas.
It's getting there. Yeah.
It's getting there. I mean, if you look at the Department of Statistics, about maybe 500,000 Americans visit Medellin, and 90% of them are men. They're not going there to look at fucking statues and shit. You know, they're
So definitely Colombia, all those cities.
right. But even Colombia is very large. Like if you go to Cartagena, if you don't have the money, Cartagena, you know.
There actually are a few more local. It's like if you go to the. Like,
But see, the thing about women is they react to what they see,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, for better or worse, too many Western males are simps.
Yeah.
So when a woman receives $100 for just being pretty, then you know the next person they're going to have a sense of entitlement,
Exactly.
and it's going to be a problem. And so Colombia is receiving a large amount of Americans. So their treatment of you is going to get progressively worse.
Right. Unless you go to say like Cali or like those cities where people.
Manizales, like the Boondocks.
Right. Bucaramanga, places where.
Yeah, Bucaramanga. Small cities. Now, Venezuela, I don't recommend. Venezuela used to have some of the.
I really want to go there, but I can't.
It's a shit show.
Yeah, and I probably don't want to. But like all the fucking hotties are from Venezuela, so I imagine
Yes.
it'd be amazing there.
Yes, it would be amazing, except that there's number 2 in kidnappings right now, and a lot of the hotties have migrated. There's been over like 5 million.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think of like the 50 girls I fucked last year, like half of them are Venezuelan anyway. So it's
Yeah. So you know, Peru has.
I've had a lot of trouble with Peru.
They're colder.
It's just even in Lima, which is a massive city, even just like there just doesn't seem to be much going on. Like, that's probably maybe like there's not as many mongers there.
There's it's farther away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an hour more in an airplane. Chile is the most western city. Right, they have the higher standard of living. So fucking over there, you might as well stay home. And if you want a Latino vibe, go to Miami and go to a strip club.
Right.
It's the same thing as being in Chile. Argentina has a lot of racial and financial dynamics that make it non-attractive. Like a lot of young people have left.
Yeah.
So a lot of the service providers will take your head off. Plus, they also have a high standard of living.
Yeah. So in addition, Brazil seems really interesting.
Brazil seems very interesting, but they're also increasing their standard of living with all what's going on with the BRICS.
Right.
And they're going to increase their standard of living. So whenever you have a country that's increasing their standard of living, the service providers will increase their price.
Right. For sure. Yeah. And what else? I know that like other good countries are Dominican Republic and Mexico, but they're also really expensive because of like Americans.
Again, they're expensive because they receive a disproportionate amount of Americans, and the girls became entitled.
Right. Interesting. So you would probably still say like, given all that, it's basically like Ecuador, still like the spot.
Ecuador is a virgin spot right now.
It is.
And it will continue to be a virgin spot because the current level of violence is going to spook a lot of people.
Yeah.
And as they become spooked, they become less, and so these girls are going to not have the benefit of seeing so many foreigners or whatever.
You're right. Definitely everywhere I've been, or all the research I've done, I've probably done maybe like 500 hours of research. So far, Ecuador seems like the most incredible and the least discovered.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Cuenca's discovered for other reasons, which we talked about.
Yeah, but they're almost like oblivious.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we can go real quick.
No, I'm just looking at if they're going to close over here,
Okay.
and, you know, that type of deal.
Are there any, now that I have an ISG account, are there any awesome users that you think I should reach out to?
In what country? Because a lot of people have a preference.
Let's say in Latin America, maybe Brazil or Colombia or Ecuador. Those seem like the top 3.
John Galt in Colombia.
John Gold?
Yes. English Bob, even though he's mainly flying out of Thailand.
I also just kind of want to meet these people. Like there's Woodman, this guy Woodman in Bogota seems kind of, he does tours as well. I like to see what's up. I don't know.
There's Woodman. There's a guy that runs the mansion over there. I think it's in Cali or in Bogota. I don't know. He's an Australian. He owns a place called the Mansion.
Do you know his username?
No,
Okay.
but he's an Australian that he has. He owns a house in Colombia, and it's called the Mansion. And basically, he has hookers there and the whole nine. Very interesting guy.
Okay.
But he's from Australia. He's not American.
Interesting. So another thing I'm planning to do is basically play around with this idea of like using like the normal girls and seeing if I can like get a good rotation with them and a good experience. Because I have like hundreds of these like girls on Tinder and Bumble and shit that want to hang out. Any advice?
The problem with that, it always comes down to expectation.
Yeah, exactly. Assume I'm really clear.
There's a large difference between you and I, right? There's a large difference between us, 2 male humans, right? Let's say our dick size are the same, or our money was the same, or whatever.
Yeah.
What is it about Latino? Let's be clear. Women are throughout the planet are race loyal. What does race loyal mean? Women from Korea like Korean guys.
Right.
Women from Japan like Japanese men. So, but every society has certain norms, and what is it that they find about Western men or white guys? Usually it's accommodations.
Right. Yeah,
It's not right. It's not that the Caucasian community has these baseball-sized dicks or they have a tongue game that's out of this world.
Right.
Women are not interested in that. Women are basically like women from let's say a woman from Ecuador. They know what to expect from an Ecuadorian male.
Right.
And it's usually a form of patriarchy. Like, you need to cook.
Right.
Right. And so when women have certain ambitions, well, her ambitions have to come second to whatever her husband's goal is or whatever the family goals are.
Right.
So whenever a person that wants to deviate from whatever societal norm is, that's when they'll seek out, they seek out a foreign guy because they'll be more accommodating than their local men. They'll be more accommodating. But see, there's a double-edged sword, because it's like an Ecuadorian woman doesn't expect an Ecuadorian man to have a money.
Right.
But they'll expect you to have money, even though you may not have a lot of money. Because let's be clear, you're not Bill Gates.
Right.
You know, there's only Bill Gates. So you have a certain budget that you need to break it down with whatever it is you're doing, your project, whatever. Your finances become that way. And so you have to make it clear from the beginning. Listen, baby, I got certain things. If you don't make that clear from the beginning, then she's gonna try to abuse you.
We need to like make a budget clear.
Yes. It's like, listen, we cannot.
Wow, you're like describing my my Colombian and American friends relationship exactly.
Right, because they'll be like, oh my God, my aunt is sick.
Right. My uncle needs.
Right, and they'll do it on purpose because it's like, oh, my niece is fucking an American guy.
Right.
Hey, Juana, go tell your simp boyfriend that I need $1,000 to get a surgery on my left nut. It sounds ridiculous.
No, it's not ridiculous.
But it happens.
I've seen it happen. I've seen like entire families like they come over and they just like spend all of this money for the party for the day.
Right.
And they leave.
Right.
They all need their taxi money back. It's like this whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you have to make it very clear from the beginning. Listen, baby, this is how we roll. And if she doesn't like it, you have to be willing to say no.
Yep.
You have to be willing to say absolutely no, because these women respect. They understand male leadership.
Right.
And that's what a lot of Western men don't understand. They don't know how to impose leadership. And because they don't know how to impose leadership, eventually they fucking start making demands, and you're just kind of stuck in a position. And you could have just went from the beginning, listen, fuck no.
Right.
You don't understand the first time, there's the goddamn door. Get the fuck out. Would you rather be with a broke guy selling fucking chifle and salchipapas, or would you rather be with me? Oh, you want to be here? Okay, that's fine.
I kind of understand the
be
situation.
Here.
Like, even if it's like the budget's super small from my perspective, it's like way better than what she's like. She has options of getting elsewhere, and it basically reinforces like, I'm not fucking stupid. Like,
right.
Don't. If you think I'm stupid, then like, fuck you. Like,
yeah, exactly. And you have to be. And but see, that's the problem. A lot of men have a scarcity mindset. They're like, oh my God, this pussy's so good, and I don't have those options back home, and so they tolerate a lot of shit. And
yeah.
But you have to understand that you're not the prize. But let me be clear to you. You probably went to college to arrive at where you're at. You probably wake up and work.
Yeah.
A woman just has to be pretty.
Exactly. Right.
It takes effort to become whatever you are.
Right.
And so she either gets it, or she needs to understand it by just you walking away. Right. Because a woman has a limited window to take advantage of whatever opportunity she has.
It's not very long either. It's
no.
Like 5 or 6 years.
There's this woman that used to be the hottest model, and she's 55, and she went online the other day making a video. After X amount of years, I'm invisible to men. No shit, you're 56.
Yeah, exactly.
And believe it or not, she looks pretty hot, but it's not that she can't get male attention. She just can no longer get an act or two.
Yeah.
Because she was married 20 years.
Right. I saw that video you're talking about.
I cannot remember her name at the top of my head, but she's fucking.
Well, that's the point. Is like she's competing with like women who are in their small window. And
she was a Victoria's Secret model. She went on a.
Yeah, the guy.
You probably don't know. Have you heard of George Michaels? Maybe you don't. Maybe you have. Okay, he was a famous British pop singer that died, and he made a video where he had like a bunch of models. She was hot.
Yeah.
She was hot, and she married a billionaire, and now she's complaining that no man will pay attention to her, and she's 56.
Yeah, but guys aren't universally attracted to 56-year-olds. They're attracted to 25-year-olds.
¿Cómo va? Aquí, un panita.
That's it. That's all.